Hello there. We have June 3rd through the 9th. I have already cleared your deck so that it can receive your energy. And we're just getting ready to put down cards here after I put on the final shuffle. While I do that, let me just remind you that this is a general reading, so not everything I see here will apply to every single Taurus that watches this video. For those of you who think that maybe it doesn't resonate so much, you may want to check your rising or your moon sign, or you may just want to go ahead and get a private reading where I look at your own personal individual energies. And to schedule a private reading with me or a private Reiki session, all you have to do is contact me and we can get that set up quickly. The best way to find my contact information is to check out my website, which is www.amista.info. Sunshine Taylor. Hello, hello. Glad to see you in the room. How are you, honey? Are you a Taurus? Alrighty, so Taurus, looking at your environment for the week, it looks to me like you're not too happy with your environment. You're thinking things could be improved or better there. And so that's the first thing that we have coming up. You're thinking that improvements need to be made in your environment. It could be that there's something going on in your environment itself, physically, tangibly, or it could be that there's something going on with a person that you share your environment with that you're thinking things need to be better there as well, just as easily. You're good. Aha, aha. I see, I see. You've got Libra going on. I won't be doing Libra for a while. We're just getting started here. This is the second video. Dion Vanek. Hey, hey. Good afternoon to you, my dear. Second thing that we're looking at for you, Taurus, is your subconscious leanings. What we have coming up here is, and this may be tied in with our home environment, but there is somebody that you were in some kind of agreement with, and now you're having a hard time really seeing eye to eye with this person. And so subconsciously you're working on, okay, how can we get back on the same page again? And for some of you, it's not so important that you get back on the same page with this other person again, as much as it's important, how can I win this debate or this argument? So for some of you, your subconscious is more leaning on, how can I win this? While for others of you, your subconscious is leaning more towards, how can we get on the same page again? You are Taurus. Okay, well, you're in the right place at the right time, my dear. Thank you for the thumbs up, whichever one of you gave me that. I do appreciate it. Next, we're looking at learning style and communication style for Taurus during the week of the 3rd to the 9th. Learning style really has to do with tangible assets. I feel like you're learning things that you need to learn to take care of your tangible assets or to move your tangible assets forward. So when I'm talking about tangible assets, what do I mean? I mean things that you have that are of value to you that you can actually touch with your fingers. Okay. All right. So tangible assets, you guys are learning what to do with them to make them better, better, better. And as far as communication style, I think your communication is coming up as being kind of scattered, a little bit all over the place. I wouldn't be too surprised if people around you are a little bit confused about what it is that you actually want or you're trying to accomplish whenever I look at your communication style this week, Taurus. Thank you, Sunshine. I appreciate that. All right, let's take a peek at work. Now, for me, work is two things. It is that way that you make a living or how you feel productive in the community. And it also can be those things that you do to improve your own inner character. So, looking at ways that you're making a living, I really think that what's going on for you, Taurus, is you are considering, or at least a lot of you are considering, what else could I do to make a living? Not so sure that this is making exactly the living that I want. Maybe there are other things that would make a better living for me. Or maybe there are other things that I can add into what I do. Maybe I can do something on the side, or maybe I can pick up a part-time job. Maybe I can drive for Lyft. Who knows what you're thinking? But you are thinking about work. When it comes to work, what you're thinking about is how can you supplement your income or how can you get a completely different, bigger income. Now, when we look at inner work having to do with your own inner character to make you happier with you, what do we have coming up here? Looks to me like you guys are working on your focus. You really want to get your focus honed in, and you want to make sure that you're not having any scattered energy, that you're really focusing in on the things that you want. Okay? Excuse me. Next thing that we're looking at talks to me about that part of you that's being grown or expanded during this week. Taurus, a lot of you are growing or expanding in your psychic abilities. You're paying more attention to your gut instinct, to those little nudges that you get, those subtle little hints of things. You're paying more attention to those during this week. And by paying more attention to those psychic nudges or those intuitive nudges, what happens is we allow them to grow stronger. Our psychic muscle is just like our leg muscles or our arm muscles. The more we work them, the stronger they get. And that's what you're doing. Now, next thing I'm looking at for you, Taurus, talks to me about those things that you stand for. Oh, wow. That kind of hit me by surprise because you have the same exact card in the same position as Aries for this position. And it's that's kind of blowing my mind. I used a completely different deck. There's a completely whole new shuffle on this deck. So, but wow. All right. So, things that you stand for, Taurus. There's somebody in your life who is taking advantage of you or using you. And somebody is saying to you, why are you letting this person walk all over you? Why are you letting this person do this? Why are you letting this person push you around? And you're actually standing up for that person that is pushing you around or using you. Don't ask me why. I didn't clarify this. I don't clarify on my general readings. I'm sure that you'll recognize it much faster than I will. I don't understand that type of thing. I don't understand why you would defend somebody who treats you badly, but it looks like you are. And so the next thing that we're looking at talks to me about how other people perceive you. It's interesting when I look at this because what comes up is that they see you as having all the ability to be a leader, to be the one that is in charge and to have respect and to hold authority, but you're not. You're not stepping up to the plate as a leader. That's how they're seeing you, like that you're not. So I'm sure that this ties in with this other person walking all over you. They're just saying, well, you don't have to take this. Why are you taking this? You could be the leader. Why are you refusing that? That's how they're feeling. And that's how they're thinking about you when they think of you. Oh, gotcha, sunshine. I see. All right. So the next thing that I'm looking at talks to me about the lesson or experience of the week. So the lesson or experience is where energy starts to pivot or change generally around this energy. So the energy that we have here comes up talking about using good judgment, really stepping back and thinking about things and looking at things for what they really are. This is where you're looking at a situation with the blinders off. You know, you're not looking at it subjectively. You're not making excuses for people. You are just looking at things in a very realistic way. And sometimes that hurts. Sometimes it's hard because not everybody is nice. It would be wonderful if everybody was nice, but sometimes we have to realize that not everybody has good intentions. And I think that what's going on here, Taurus, the sense that I'm getting is that you are realizing that not everybody that you thought had good intentions is necessarily um, on the same page as you and having the same types of intentions as you. And so you're having to use good judgment as far as, you know, to what level do you want to be involved with these people that don't have as good intention as good of intentions as you thought or as you expected? And so you're using your judgment there to deal with that. Now, as you are using good judgment in dealing with this, and this is not an easy situation, that's a heavy situation. There are some things happening. One of the things that happens is um, when somebody starts to realize that you're not letting them stay in your life if they're just using you or walking all over you, that you are starting to see them for who they really are, and now you're treating them accordingly. There's going to be some lashback because they're used to you treating them as if they were beautiful, perfect, wonderful friends when really they weren't. And so they're not going to understand why all of a sudden you're giving them bad treatment when they've been walking all over you this whole time and you've always treated them really well before. And so there's going to be some backlash as you use good judgment about what's appropriate and what's not appropriate in particular relationships with people in your life, Taurus. Now, the other thing that comes up from this is that there is some healing coming in here. Now, for me, a lot of times when I see this card, it talks about two people sitting down and talking things over, but that's not the energy I have from this card. The energy that I have from this card is that this person who's giving you that lashback is not a nice person. Okay. I'm not going to use any cuss words, but let's just say not a nice person. All right. And so whenever we come into the point where you're getting some healing, I don't think it's from sitting down and talking to this person who's giving you all this lashback. It's absolutely not from sitting down and talking to this person, because any talks with them would not be productive. All right. They're just not in a place where they can hear and understand, because all they can understand is whatever's to the end of their nose. They can't understand your side of anything. Okay. And so when this healing comes in, to me, this healing talks about you are doing some work to heal yourself. You're doing some personal work so that you are not taking it personally when somebody who can't see past their own nose does something that is offensive to you, because they're not sensitive enough to know that they've offended you. Okay. So that's where the healing is coming in, where you're getting over whatever this person did to walk all over you. And you're starting to see that, yeah, they kind of really can't help it. Doesn't make them an appropriate friend, but it does help to not be so angry at them once you realize that they're not really totally okay. Hello there, Veronica. Let's see. And then ultimately, what we have coming up is, as you make good judgments, good judgment calls, you're dealing with this backlash. You're doing your own healing as this backlash is coming up. And then the last thing that comes up is, as you're making your judgment call, it's like whoever you had to make that judgment call about, as you make that judgment call, like they really put it in your face what they're all about. You really see their true colors. And when you see these true colors, it only confirms that you were doing the right thing to start with. And not only does it confirm that you were doing the right thing to start with, but whatever opinion you had of them before, now your opinion is even lower than what it was when all of this started. They are really just putting it in your face what type of person they are, so that honestly, I mean, you have no regrets about using good judgment and taking care of business, taking care of yourself, keeping yourself from getting walked all over. Okay. So that's what I have coming up for you, Taurus. I hope that you find this helpful. Well, hopefully your friends will use good judgment and alienate himself from her, or distance himself from her. Okay, so Veronica wants to know, should she travel to Madrid? Is it a good idea for Miss Veronica to travel to Madrid? Thank you, Sunshine Taylor. You know, if anybody wants to support the channel, there is Super Chat right down there. I don't know if any of you are in a position to do that, but if you would like to, that's there. It's kind of an easy way to do that. And then, of course, if you'd like a private reading, I'm always available for those. Are you going to be going back to Madrid? Have you been there before? Madrid, I mean. You've never been there. Okay. There's something that you're talking that we're going back to. So if this is a person that you're going back to that happens to live in Madrid and he didn't live there before, or she, there's something here that we're talking about going back to. All right. So let me tell you what I see about you going to Madrid, honey. I just answer one question after the end of these readings for each of the signs, just in case those of you who have not been here before didn't know. I don't do cards of the day at the end of these readings. Those are only at the end of the Reiki readings. So anyway, let's look at this. I really don't like the idea of you going back there. And I'll tell you why. First of all, you got the Ten of Pentacles in reverse, which tells me one of two things. Either you don't have the resources to make the trip, or once you get there, you're not going to have any resources once you're there. The Six of Swords in reverse is troubling. I know you said you haven't been there before, so this is either you going back to see a person that you've been with before, And this is a person that was dragging you down, and you actually got away from this person, and it was a good thing to get away from them. Going back to them is not such a good thing. The other possibility is here that it's not necessarily a person, but that going back into this situation in Madrid may take you back to some old thought processes that were harmful to you. So whether it's a person that you really are not going to be benefited from going back to hang out with or see or whatever, or whether these are thought processes that it's going to throw you into to go back there and not have resources, either way, that's not very good. Okay, that's bad. Let's just say that's bad. All right. Then the next thing I have coming up is the 10 of Swords. And the 10 of Swords is telling me that if you go there, I think that this trip will end early. Something will definitely be over, and it will be time for you to come back. I also feel like you're going to be disappointed with the trip, with the results of the trip, if you go to Madrid. And then we've also got the Four of Wands in reverse, which I think means that you're going to be separated from somebody that you met in Madrid. And I think that you're going to be missing them, because it's kind of funny that this comes up at the end of the question about you going to Madrid. The fact that it's coming up at the end of the question tells me that this is somebody that you've met at Madrid, or somebody that maybe you were going to see in Madrid. And when you come back home, you're separating from them. I do see this as a temporary separation. I do think that you guys will be able to reconnect after a while, but definitely a separation from them. Okay. So I would not advise this. Looking at these cards, if these came up for me to go somewhere, I would say, no way, Jose. Let me just scrap that trip. That's what I can tell you, my dear. So that's for Veronica. Sunshine Taylor, thank you very much for the support. I appreciate that. Kathy Jean Goldsworthy, hello, hello. Oh, I'm glad that's spot on for you, honey. Dion Vanek, I'm not doing cards here, honey. Sunshine Taylor, thank you. Thank you. What's coming towards you in love and Taurus? I think we covered some of that already in the reading when we looked at what's going on in your environment and what's going on in your subconscious. You've got something coming up where you're not very happy with the person that you're sharing your environment with, and you're going to be working on, what was that came up in that? You're going to be working on, no, that was Aries. You're going to be working on, oh, yeah. Your subconscious is going to be working on how to get things worked out with that person. So what we had was where either one of two things is happening. You're going to be trying to figure out how to get out of that situation with the person that you're with, or you're going to be working on how can you come into a place where you're seeing eye to eye with your romantic interest or partner. That's what we've got coming up for Taurus in love. Very cool, Veronica. And you can always catch the Taurus, you can always catch the Reiki during my daily broadcast. And if you're not there during the broadcast, you can always catch them afterwards. And just go ahead and set the intention to replay that. Yep. So for you personally, let's see for this week, what's coming for you, sunshine and love. La da da da, la da da la. Wow, you have some confusion going on. The first thing that comes up says you have a choice to make in your love life, and you're having a hard time making that choice. Now, this can be between two people. I feel like it's more for you. It's more to do about whether you want to move forward or not move forward. What do you really want in your love life in general? I do see you making a decision, though, definitely, about what you want and moving forward with that decision. However, this decision doesn't line up with what the other person that you're trying to get together with or be together with wants, because there's some conflict coming up there. So that's what we've got for the week for you. Alrighty, guys, I am ready to get out of here. Thank you so much for keeping me here, keeping me on my toes. I do appreciate it. And I will talk to you guys the next time. Peace out. And thank you, Sunshine, for the super chat. I appreciate that.